Dr. Vidya Patil and I will be guiding and assisting you during this course. In the previous video, we have learned about O. Henry, who is the writer of the short story, The Gift of the Magi. We have already seen what is the setting of the story and who are the important characters in the story. I am sure you are all very eager to know what happens in the story. So without wasting much time, let us now begin with trying to understand the story. Students, the name of the story which we are going to study today is The Gift of the Magi. As I have already told you, this title is taken from the Christian concept of the Magi, that is the three wise men who brought precious gifts at the time of birth of Jesus Christ. This story will tell us about the value of gifts. It's a very heartwarming and loving Christian story. The Gift of the Magi story begins with two main protagonists or characters, which I had already told you about, that is Della Young and James Dillingham Young. Della and James are a very young, loving couple. They lived in a shabby flat house. Though Jim was working hard and was trying to earn money, but he was not able to earn enough to afford a good house. So they had to live in a shabby apartment. This story is taking place in the city of New York at the time of Christmas. Though the couple were poor, they loved each other a lot. And being Christmas time, they wanted to express their love to each other. The story begins with Della being in a state of despair. She is very sad because since months she had been trying to save money so that she could buy a nice gift for Jim. She wanted to buy something really nice for him, something which was very fine and rare. But Della has not been able to save enough money. She only has $1.87 and she is very sad because she feels that with this amount she may not be able to get anything nice for him. James Dillingham, who was also called lovingly as Jim by his wife, and Della had only two prized possessions. There were these possessions which were very much valued by both of them. Jim had a gold timepiece, that is, it was a small watch which had been his father's and had belonged to his grandfather. The other was Della's long hair. Both of them were very proud of these possessions and valued them tremendously. In this sad state of mind, she was sitting and pondering about what to do and what kind of gift to buy for Jim. Suddenly, she looked at her reflection in the window and saw her hair. She let down her hair and saw that when fully let down, it reached below her knees. Suddenly, an idea struck her and she immediately ran to Madame Sofronie's hair salon and got her hair cut and sold it for $20. It, though she did it, she had a very heavy heart because she used to love her hair a lot. As I told you earlier, it was one of her most prized possessions and she was very sad to lose her hair. But at the same time, she was very eager because with this money, she would now be able to get a nice gift for her husband, Jim. With this money which she found, she had now managed to collect, she immediately went out and bought a gift for Jim. She purchased an elegant platinum chain for the watch which Jim used to value a lot. Though the chain was not very fancy, she believed that it would suit Jim's personality because Jim also, though he was not very wealthy, he still was a very good and loving human being. Then she went home, tried to set her hair into curls, and prepared the dinner. Jim arrived home, and when he entered the house and saw Della with her short hair, he suddenly froze. He was shocked to see her hair completely cut. Della began to feel anxious that maybe Jim would not like her now as she had got her long hair cut. When Jim managed to get a control over himself, he threw a package onto the table and went and tried to console Della, who had begun to cry. He told her that no matter how short her hair was, he would never stop loving her. He tried to reassure her, and he said that the only reason why he got shocked was because of the gift which he had purchased for her. She wanted to see the gift, and he opened the package and showed it to her. The gift which he had brought for Della was nothing but a pair of combs. The combs were very beautiful, and Della had wanted it since a long time. But she was very happy as soon as she saw the combs, but realized that it was of no use to her now as she had got her long hair cut, and she began to cry. Jim consoles Della, and she finally manages to stop crying. She then remembers that she had also brought a gift for Jim, and she asks him to remove his watch. Though he tries to avoid it in the beginning, but when she continues to force him, he finally admits that he had sold his watch in order to buy the combs for her. She was dumbstruck when she heard this. He used to value the watch a lot as it belonged to his grandfather, and it was one of his most prized possessions. Jim told Della that let us put aside our Christmas gifts for a while and just have our dinner. The narrator ends the story by describing the Magi who brought wonderful gifts for Jesus Christ at the time of his birth. It was these Magi who invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Being wise men, they brought wise and valuable gifts for Jesus Christ. Here at the end of the story, the writer compares Jim and Della to these wise men, the Magi. He says that though the gifts were of no use to them now, but they were ready to sacrifice their most prized possessions in order to gift the other. So the intent behind the gift was more important than the actual value of the gift. This is what the writer is trying to tell us through this beautiful story. So students, this is the story of two young people who gave away for each other, who sacrificed their most loving possessions for each other. The narrator compares Della and Jim to the three wise men, and he concludes the story by saying that of all those who gave the gifts, these two were the wisest. So students, I am sure you all must have enjoyed the story. This story is considered to be one of the most famous Christmas parables and has been popular through so many years. It is still heard and enacted during Christmas time. I hope you liked this video. Thank you.